Alright, so let me begin by saying this is the kind of material that is critical for my thesis. When I'm determining certain standards on the function, usually it was more than anything the evaluation early in to see a set and know that you'd be working it. Me, I'm sitting here on this, I roll over. The only answer I can say is in this cop's ear, and it roll over. And hopefully I didn't get to see this other one walking into the point, but let's start her over and make sure out of the 2 million of you and 2.5 million of you out there who actually contextually at least work this math problem correctly.
Walk over here. Get your hands up. Walk over here.
17. I don't know the distribution of tasers at the point in time. That's my first hop. That goes to the stress. That goes to pressures. Stokey's math on this officer. When you understand that math, it becomes a practical value, not necessarily. It just becomes, did somebody do it? Did you graph it? In this circumstance, if that is at least one of the factors that you know is going to be out of all the things later on.
Roll over.
When I bring this up to my thesis in town about, in lieu of judges or officers handling this thing, when I made this statement about smoking blunt in the police station across the board, Karen, in this case, whether Karen or otherwise, I can only give you a gun. Really, you can't handle the math correctly to be her. I've done the exact same maneuvers because this is protocol at this point in time. Look, she didn't stop. She had to go. This is a wild animal running around at this point in time that doesn't understand how this function will go. It's very dangerous. Have you ever tried to grab hold of a squirrel that did not like this? I would have to stop some brothers. I know the ones that try to grab a step turtle by the head. I had to stop them. Luckily they did, and we did the right math before this became necessary. So no problem. But
roll over and give me your hand.
Figured it out. Yeah, that's a bit extreme inside here. That was hot, close to the ear on things.
Give me help! Shots fired! Give me help!
I don't know where the shots come in though, from the neighbor of the house. That's what they were. I'm waiting for the meltdown outside here at the back end of it, and I thought it was good. Maybe he thought one.
Got a guy with a gun.
Fair.
Give me some help! Shots fired!
We're driving, Justin. Shots fired. 58 got shot fired. 95 on 33.
Not this how it happens. As much as we could pause.
You better show me your hands!
Where's he at? Sharp Road? Yeah, 4 Robinson.
I didn't get to that part. Probably right before it is when I stopped. Because usually I plays it with me.
34-100, stage of 47.
Hang on. Yeah.
10-4, I've already done it.
That's a part of the strong thesis on what comes up later on when I teach them sharps and salty. And I teach them the spectrums of Dave and a bunch of the mathematics on first inside of here about how the working joules of what is known physics.
You dropped that
Somebody
Walk over here!
in the test.
Walk over here! Do it now!
You don't know what they
Get out
had
here!
to deal
Get
with
the
today,
on the
back
ground!
to back on
Get away from there! Get the
enough in the
on
stone.
the ground! Get the on the ground! You better keep your hands where I can see them!
Problem with the I mean, everybody, there's a region, and you know why you
You
gotta
stay
say the limit
the
there. It's all in one straight line, firstly. At some point in time, there's one thing that's
You
called the
keep your
limits
hands
from
where I can see them!
directions, where it's like, all right, you're up for the cop task, but you come in with a different standard model that means the internal housing confinement to the local area of checks, and how you would go about doing that. Obviously, if you know this person's about to get triggered in town, and they ask me a question, you know, all right, boy, you know any mathematics? Actually, I don't. I don't really. If I knew one to you, and I'd be like, that was the name, probably this person's gonna make some weather effects for winter around here, which probably come up on your ear, right? Otherwise, locally, I'd have to do it from house. And to be honest, these are the results on that function about Homeland Security, about why you need a demographic from Hancock, why you need to be able to adjust and interact on those things.
I've got him on the
Otherwise,
ground at
this
gunpoint. I don't know what he
becomes
did with it, but he's on the ground.
the morality of that trajectory passing through the walls of 50 cal particle slit experiment about why it wasn't used in town, because this would have been the result. You would have wanted this
You keep your hands where I
mathematically.
can see them. You better not
That's the
move.
balance on that kind of gravity when it comes around on you, even if it was negligence. This is nobody's. This is this stick and piece of grass right out here still
Well, you
fine. That
just stay
fence
put.
post doing just fine, officer, right? You know, I mean, sure, clean it up, but Shangri-La has that way about it. And I just said, be in that fence post. Cool. Between there and there, you know, like I said, when I'd walk, you know, this becomes a training course, because then again, you know, I know we're going to go to the doctor or whatever, an interrogation. We're talking about this is what innocent until proven guilty looks like. This is your first incident. Yes, there are some more elements to this. The more you get good with this, the better that is. Now I want you to listen, because seconds after that, what's going to happen
Hold
is
it together. Hold it together, man. Come here.
the team
Hold it together, man.
on
Hold
the
it
other
together.
side of
Hold it
that.
together. Look at me. Hold it together. Give me that gun. Give me your gun. Give me your gun. Give me your gun, sir. Give me your gun. I'm with the ambulance service. Give me your gun. Give me your gun. Let go of it. Let go of it.
Is it real fuzzy for you?
Move! Don't move! Don't move! Shut the up! Easy, buddy. Easy, buddy. Easy, buddy. I got it. I got it under control. You just calm down, man. Don't move! Easy, buddy. Easy, man. Calm down. It's okay, buddy. We got this under control. We got your back, man. Don't
And he's
worry
got the
about it.
room right here.
You
I
shut
don't want you to detain this. I want you to hold him down. I don't want you to be able to get that gun. She
We got it, man. We got it. It's
ain't
on
getting
the
far, brother.
Todd!
When she become a higher
Watch
priority
yourself!
threat of
God,
risk
I need
to
you over
police
here now!
officers is mathematics, my man.
I got him, Todd, over here now.
I don't know who shot at this point in time.
Easy, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a
You might have
stressful
been.
situation. It's okay. We got your back, man. It's okay. Todd! I'm okay. I'm okay. You okay? Yeah. I got it. I'm okay. I swear. Keep your hands up.
58, still 10-4.
They started shooting at here.
I'm 10-4.
This is what it is, guys.
Keep
You
your
know,
hands where I can
it
see
may not
them.
be the Stone Mill. He's a big brother unless he's a cop. EMT. You know, like I said, I know you guys repress a lot. I know there's a lot holding your feet to the mill floor or being the robots. And equally, like I said, you know, it gets to the point where even though the protocol's on there, I want to make sure that a brother like this still got a safe place to stay. Like I said, I mean,
I'm
it
standing
happens, it
over
comes
here in the
down.
field.
And obviously, I want to give you
I've got the
what it
EMS
is
has got the
inside
girl
there
detained in handcuffs, and I'm standing
hopefully
out here in the
can be in at
field.
least a controlled
We've
manner.
got the one guy on
100%
the
you're
ground,
off on
Robin
grass.
standing in the
There's no way
doorway.
you're not. Obviously, things like the salt crew, things like those reciprocals on there, you just can't design them to be, you know, those, they gotta be stationed
You better
in
keep
camps,
your hands where I can
areas.
see them.
And we always talk about in
You
the
best
mill, we
not
love it
move.
when we can actually get the guys to go full spades on every saw and trying to hold it at that number. But side of there,
10-4.
yeah, I'll take it, you know. Comes around. You wouldn't argue there, but we sure as shit ain't nobody handing the gun to somebody.
Keep your hands up.
I mean, the situation will be, oops. I mean, at the point in time, you just accidentally shot somebody. You don't.
He's right there.
100 to 128. It's going to be there at the intersection. 794 is. It's going to be right there at the intersection of Cedar Bluff.
This is what we.
Intersection of
It's
Cedar
what,
Bluff.
I mean, unfortunately, I wish I could factor some of those things, but this is going to be a real hard math problem right now about. I can't even disqualify it out of protocol necessarily. Snapping under those kinds of systems would be stoicky to where it could have been when you give that evaluation to the psych later about where that's been living. I don't know. Again, the initial mousetrap to protocol certainly says when this became a standard from the point in time of gravity under a standard and what it is everybody, you would think a common group would do, however that's pegged up. It starts to come up whether you're wearing it or you're not wearing it, or you're on, you're off, you're up, you're sleeping that night, somebody's in town, don't, and that becomes a hole in the system. We got to look at these things from where we had them from boxes, how to be able to capitalize that from the bosses' chairs of every company in the area, because all of them have to have a job, let's face it. Even if it's sitting at home doing stuff, that's pretty easy demographic to sit around, that they're actually big enough from an evaluation standpoint to see, well, obviously dark web over there's got a goddamn problem, we need to go square it away, given cicada and wind talkers and... No, I mean, all right, from here, who's the team member that's most worried about you doing that in Shangri-La over here, and we'll figure it out.